Hi everybody, I'm Jessica Nicole Dickerson, aka JND, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm doing some fall recommendations, but some underrated ones that I feel like a lot of people either heard about a couple years ago and the hype has died down, or just books that I don't hear about that I thought were great and are very autumnal or good for that almost wintry vibe. So yeah, I'm going to share those recommendations with you today. Let me know what's your top fall book. I'm curious to see what it is. I want to know, but let's get into it. The first one I want to mention is so freaking cute. I think I read it about 2 years ago and I don't hear anybody talking about it, which is so sad because there's queer rep and it's so whimsical, but it is Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Basher-Dos. That's a long name. I will link every book that I mentioned down below. But yeah, this is amazing. This story is a fairy tale reimagining, and you kind of get two timelines. You get the Evil Queen's timeline and the Snow White character, the character who was birthed from the king and queen. So we have Mina, our evil queen basically, and she's grown up to not love anyone. Her father's a magician and he stole her heart, and now she's set out to kind of catch the king's attention. And then fast forward to the future, Mina's married to him, the king, and they have a stepdaughter, Lynette, I think is how you pronounce her name, and she was also kind of created by the magician. I don't want to go into too much detail, but there's a lot of magic, there's a lot of creation. One, it's queer, there's a lesbian couple in here, and two, it talks about like women. This whole story is all about women and what they're like achieving love and status and success, and it talks a lot about that, and it's just such a cool story, and I don't know why people don't talk about it more. I'm just like blown away by that. And let me read the first sentence. We got a cool map of the castle. One, it's Lynette, her chapter. Lynette first saw her in the courtyard. We already opening up with that queerness. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We love it. But yeah, I think everyone should at least pick this up in the library and give it a whirl, because it's a really good retelling. Like, top tier. I'm going to mention a lot of retellings in this video, but this is definitely like top tier retelling magicalness that just gets me in that autumnal wintry vibe. So yeah, go check it out. Let me know if you've heard about it in the comments below. Oh, and you might be distracted by my fancy jewelry. So I'm excited to say that Ana Luisa has collaborated with me, which is so weird because I feel like it's such a big brand, but they reached out and said, we'd love to send you some stuff. And in the description bar, I'll link down my code Dickerson10 to get 10% off. But yeah, I got this necklace and these really awesome earrings, and I'll do a close-up on them so you can see them. But yo, I just wear them all together, all stacked, and I just feel like a freaking princess. I know princesses probably don't have multiple piercings, but they totally should. They should have tattoos, multiple piercings, you know, that stuff, because that'd be all right? And I was so excited to partner with them because it is such an ethical brand. They really care about the material and the waste that happens in industries. And also this is a tarnish resistant, so it'll last for a very long time, and I'm so excited. I just think the jewelry is like dainty but edgy enough to be like, okay Jess, you throwing looks, you doing things, power moves. I don't know, whenever I feel a little down, I just put on jewelry, maybe a wing liner, because I don't know, foundation and stuff, sometimes it's cute, sometimes it's not. So I just put it on a wing and some jewelry, and then I'm like, wow, I look great while I'm in sweats. You can't see it, but I'm in sweats, but I'll feel powerful. And that's the great thing about Ana Luisa. So definitely check them out down below. But back to the video. This is going to be kind of a silly recommendation, but I seriously did enjoy this book and I want to collect the other ones in it. If you know the show Once Upon a Time, they have little books out, and I know there's a lot of like Disney retellings and those weird other books. I'll put a picture up here so you know what I'm talking about. There are a lot of those kind of floating around. I think I had one and then I unhauled it because I never read it, but this guy right here is great. Fairy tale retelling, obviously Little Red Riding Hood, but it's from the character from the show when she first turns into a werewolf, discovering that she's a werewolf, and how her society, how she lives, how she struggles for food, and her living with her grandma and making pies. It really goes in depth. It feels like the show, but it feels like a touch, just like way deeper into it. So if you like the show, you definitely need to read this. But on top of that, if you like fairy tale reimaginings, that you feel the world, there's this magical, I don't want to give it away, but there's like this magical aspect that she's trying to figure out what's up with her, why is this happening to her. And let me read you the first sentence of this for funsies. So chapter 1, I'm not afraid because I sense that I'm not alone. Girl, if I sense anyone near me and I thought I was supposed to be alone, I'd be scared. So all the feels. I think I want to reread this soon, to be honest, because it was just such a wild ride, and it also focuses on her and her boyfriend at the time. They weren't like publicly dating, because you really couldn't do that in this society without like the approval of others, but them trying to establish, like her trying to have that relationship with him. So it's cute. So it's a little bit of romance, lots of magic, so I definitely recommend it. It's a short and it's a really aesthetically pleasing book. So I definitely want the Evil Queen book, and I think Henry has a book too, so I'm looking forward to that. But a great retelling that more people need to talk about. Now this is for my people who love contemporary. Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. This was such a good like thriller, still YA, still high school, still dealing with struggles of boys and your feelings and whatnot. I made the mistake of reading the last few pages in public. I cried so hard. I could not guess or get near to how this story was going to wrap up, or what kind of wild ride was going to come. All you need to know is that we have our main character Claudia, and her friend Monday has been missing, and she's wondering why no one else is worried and no one else is searching for her, so she's taking it upon herself to look for Monday. So yeah, this does have a lot of trigger warnings, so I definitely would look into that. And let me read you the first sentence, because why not? So the first chapter, September, playing with that timeline again. This is the story of how my best friend disappeared. Let me just keep reading, because this first paragraph's real good. How nobody noticed she was gone except me, and how nobody cared until they found her 1 year later. If you were not intrigued by those sentences, you can exit this video. Okay, bye. Another kind of retelling, but also sticking to the contemporary things, or an urban fantasy where our reality is the same, but there's some elements of magic trickling in, is A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. This story is about a girl, Alice, whose father passed away. I believe he was shot. I don't know if it was police brutality. I don't remember exactly why, but she's dealing with that grief and that loss. And then because of that grief and loss, something from Wonderland comes and attacks her. They have nightmares. So in this world, if you have a lot of grief or a lot of negative emotions, these nightmares sneak out of Wonderland and attack humans. People normally can't see them, but I think Alex did, and she was able to try and fight it off. And then the Mad Hatter swoops in, and we have our duo. This book is so cool. Their partnership is really cool, and Alice is trying to balance out her school life and new magical abilities, and also keeping nightmares at bay, because it's their responsibility. They have guards, human guards, who can travel in between the worlds to kind of keep nightmares in. But there's something going on now. I don't want to say what, but the element changes, and there could be a possible serial killer who killed a king or something, you know. I'm not gonna say, but you should be scared. Okay, let's read the first sentence. Prologue. Curiouser. Oh, the themes of Alice in Wonderland in this are also really fun. Okay, so the first sentence is Alice couldn't cry. That's the first sentence. I'm gonna read you a couple more just because they're short. So the first sentence. Alice couldn't cry. She couldn't scream. All she could do was run. Who's she running from? You want to know, don't you? You do. Okay, this next one is one that I'm my voice. It's gonna be, my voice is just being weird today, so ignore that. I'm not sick or anything. I don't know what it's doing. This is one of my favorite fairy tale retellings. Again, the Evil Queen, I feel like that's the most retold story of them all, but you know, Snow White, she's pretty nifty. I guess she's kind of cool. So this is The Shadow Queen by CJ Redwine. CJ Redwine actually has a series of books, I think 4. I have all 4 of them. I've only read this one. I really want to read the rest of them. Also, if you can hear that ice cream truck coming by, that song, I apologize, but you know, who doesn't want ice cream whilst in fall? Basically, CJ Redwine had created this world, this very distinct world, and all 4 books live within this world. I just ran out of space on my card, so I just deleted some things, so that's why things look different. That's why. But yeah, I was showing you, oh, beautiful book, beautiful, The Shadow Queen. The map. So all 4 books, the series is placed in the same world, and we follow different characters from different kind of fairy tales, but they're all reimagined, and they're reimagined so well. Like, there's dragons, there's people who can turn into dragons, there's a little romance in this one, which I really like. And there's twins, and they're trying to escape the Evil Queen, and basically they were able to, after the king died and the Evil Queen kind of took over, the kids had to escape. But when you are like the queen or king, you kind of control the land, so she can like grow trees and kill people instantly. And the kids also have that power, but it's not well trained. I also think there's blood magic in this book. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Okay, and the first sentence for Shadow Queen is, the chapter is called Once Upon a Time ... The drama. Nothing had been right in the castle since her mother's death. Yeah, so the story picks up right after her mom dies, and the stepmom comes in and wreaks havoc on the kingdom. The magic in this world is so cool, and the series is so awesome. Like, this first book was so cool, and the fact that like all of them correlate, the fantasies, is just like what I'm here for. So I highly recommend at least the first book. Check it out. No one talks about it. I don't know why. They're so good. Please do. Please. Another Alice in Wonderland retelling that is good is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I think this one did get a good amount of hype when it first came out because Marissa Meyer obviously released the the Lunar Chronicles, that's what they're called. I haven't actually read those. I really should. I just haven't gotten around to it, but I picked up this book randomly and it was so good. If you want a pure Alice in Wonderland retelling where you're in the world and the Mad Hatter has his shop and there's weird things going on and there's all this craziness, you need to check this out. You need to. I highly recommend the audiobook as well, because A Blades of Black, it is Alice in Wonderland. They do travel to Wonderland, but it's much more contemporary in the sense that she's grounded in our reality. She grew up in like a regular world like we did. Whereas this, we're following the freaking Evil Queen as she's, or not Evil Queen, the Queen of Hearts as she's becoming that. And the whole book, I'm like, she can't turn evil. Like, that's not in her nature. I do not believe it. I like didn't understand how this was all gonna roll out when I was reading it. There's a little cute romance in it, and it's so great because in the story she doesn't really want to get married and become a queen or whatever. She wants to open up her own bakery, and it's so cute. I highly recommend. But let me read the first sentence to you. Okay, chapter 1. This word is gonna be hard for me to say. Their luscious lemon tarts glistened up at Catherine. There's a lot of fun wordplay in this book. Yeah, so Catherine is in the kitchen baking, and the whole story unravels from there. It's nuts, and there's also an evil monster out killing people. So it's pretty cool. Was there anything else that I wanted to talk about? And the last book that excites me to no end, and it has a decent amount of hype around it, but like I just want there to be more hype because I know the third one's coming out soon, and I'm so excited for it. It's been moved back to April, which is kind of sad, but it is The Last Magician. So this isn't a retelling of any sort. This is an urban fantasy. I would still consider this young adult because I think she's like 16, but it's the story of this girl who has the ability to time travel. So in this world, in New York, there are magicians. There's a timeline happening in like the 1900s, and then there's present day. So present day Esta, who can time travel, goes back to try and stop the magician from ruining something, the world. She's here to save the day. Little does she know, she knows so little. Ooh, what a good quote of the day. I like that. That was a good sentence. But yeah, so she goes back in time to go try and save the world, and things start to unravel. She starts to learn a lot about herself, surprisingly. And yeah, she also meets this guy who's super cute, and their banter is everything, if I do say so myself. But this story lines up so well. There's so much magic. In the world in New York, there is this wall called the Breach, I believe it's called, or the Brink. It's you, as a magician, if you go to New York, because they are also, you know, marketing themselves as a magician, come travel to New York, come in. If you're a magician, you go in, you're stuck, and if you try and exit, you die. So now they've put all the magicians in the city, and they're oppressing them. They're not giving them jobs, obviously, and some other things might be happening to them that's not cool. There's gangs. Oh, there's so much fun stuff happening in this book. There's also queer characters in this book, which is fabulous, but I don't think that's the priority in the first book. That more pops up in the second one, because we're just learning so much about the world in this first one. But I just had a shout. I gotta shout out Lisa Maxwell, because this book was everything to me, and I'm just so disappointed that the third one is not coming out in December. Okay, I needed that fall vibe, and now you've pushed it to April. Now I have to read it in spring. Who do you think I am? I'm still gonna read it. I'm still gonna buy it, but like, I'll complain about it every once in a while. So good. Urban fantasy, so good. Okay, that is all my recommendations. Obviously there's those standard recommendations you get of like Ninth House, which I just put up a vlog if you want to see that vlog. There's, you know, Cruel Prince vibes. There's a lot of thriller recommendations out there, but these are the few that I feel like, oh, I don't hear anybody talking about these, so definitely just had to shove them in your face and rave about them a little bit. Hope you liked it. Hope you added one or two to your TBR. Let me know down below if you did. And don't forget to check out Ana Luisa and these pieces down below with my discount code. If you feel like being a fabulous princess one day and you want to save some money, just copy this code and try and keep it till later, you know what I mean, when you feel like spending some money next paycheck, if you want, obviously. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it gave you a little bit more sunshine, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.